I think it's better that we look at it on how you're going to set up your IDE first every time there's a new project that comes in. Okay, so from here, let's go to Business Central. Now, the first thing that you need to do every time you're new with a company, or especially if you're new, and you need to inspect the ERP system that they have. So the first thing you need to do is to go to Extension Management. Extension. Okay, being used by the ERP system. Extensions are actually the additional codes that have been used or has been utilized by most developers to extend a new functionality, add additional columns on the field, and you need those things because if, for example, if there's an additional field that has been added on your base object, you need to download that because otherwise you won't be able to see the field. Open one item card. And then from the item card, you need to go here and then uh, the question mark, click question mark, help and support, and then inspect the pages. Okay, when you look at the pages, these are the following information that you're going to get. So this is your item card. So this is the page, this is the base page, and then this is the table that has been used by the ERP system. Now, if you want to look at the extensions that has been utilized in this page, you can go and click extensions. From extensions, you could see that there are different extensions that has already utilized the card. So from here, you could see that there are 4 extensions that have been done in the base card. So that's just what it simply means. Because if you are familiar with the item card, you're going to see that this field, for example, LLMS code, this is something that's not actually by default. It's something that you could see by default in an item card. So file, I'm going to press Control Shift P and then AL book. Okay, so a folder is going to be created for you. So let's just say new project. New underscore project. Okay, and then press enter. Now, these are the different release waves that are going to be asked by the system that you want to create. So I'm always using release 8 because now you're going to have 2 choices. It's either it's a sandbox, this is a cloud-based, or on-prem. So this is an on-prem development. So since my server, my ERP system is on-prem, I'm going to select the second option. Okay, so you're going to actually create, the system is going to create for you 2 of the most important files that you needed for the project. It's the app.json file and the launch.json. So with launch.json, it's very simple. You just need to input the server name. So with the server, you have to select it from what is the server of your ERP system. Since I'm using an on-prem, I'm just going to go here, and then I'm just going to copy and paste my IP address. Okay, so there you go. Now you could see that most of them are still in red. So if you could see that this hello world is actually extending from a customer list. It's a basic object or a base object coming from your ERP system. Since the system cannot still see those base objects, you need to download those objects from your server. So how do you do that? So you just press Control Shift P, and then you have to download the symbols. So AL download symbols. So after clicking that, you're going to have this. If you're connected correctly on your server, you can see that the symbols have already been downloaded. And you can see that it's no longer red. It becomes blue. So everything is okay now. So everything is working fine. Now, when you look at the object designer, okay, let's just wait. Because sometimes it takes time for it to load again. But sometimes there's also a technique that I do if it's not loading properly or it's loading for a very long time. I just close Visual Studio again. I just go and open it. And then after opening it, I go to the Object Explorer again for Object Designer. And let's see. Okay. Yep. So you can see it's way faster if you reset it. That's why I always close the Visual Studio and then open it. Now, you could see that these are some of the page extensions, but most of it are still the publisher are Microsoft because these are base objects. Base objects are the standard ERP objects, the standard objects that's used by Business Central. So if you want to create a new functionality and new fields, then you create an extension for that. So this is the first extension that I've done. So this is the only extension that I'm seeing. Now, as what I've told you before, when you go to your ERP system, and you can see that there is already a customization within the item card page. And that field is LLMS code and other probably fields that I'm not aware of. So what I need to do is that what if I want to actually get that base application, that extension, because I want to program it. And I'm going to go to extension management. Okay. So from extension management, I know that that extension or that field is coming from BC upgrade. So I'm just going to click the extension name, go to actions, manage, and then configure. So this is the application ID. So that is the same thing with what you've done here in your app.json file. This is your application ID. This is the project name and then the publisher. Let's rename the publisher to Cito. When you go here, the only thing that you need is to go to dependencies, and then you need to open and close parentheses or the curly brace, and then put the ID, property, ID, ID, tab, ID, name, publisher. Okay, so from your extension here, just copy the ID properly and then paste it here. And then afterwards, the name, which you could also see here, BC19 grade. And then the publisher is from here, which is CDN. And then the version is 1.0.0.0. Okay. Now the last step that you're going to do is press Ctrl-Shift-P again, and then you go and download symbols. Okay. Okay, so when everything is okay, you could see that the symbols are downloaded. Yep. Okay, just ignore this. I could just this because I've made this example many times. That's why it's actually a duplicate. So I'm just going to close it. Now, when you go to Visual Studio again, and then you go to the Object Designer. Now, when you look at the table extensions here, you have additional extensions coming from the extension that you have added as a dependency. So that's a very good technique because every time you start a project, you don't have to download all of those extensions. You only need to download the extensions that you need for a certain object. So that's just how you do. So other podcasts would not tell you that, but that's the trick. So it's a trick that you could actually utilize, and I'm actually going to put this on YouTube as well for other people to see because that's the industry technique for doing that. Now, when you go at your app.json file, just remember to put it as part of your dependency. Okay, that's hack that transito panlaki po you have to. Bye-bye.